It was Three Kings Day, and Fidel took us to tobacco country. Tobacco is one of the Dominican Republic's largest exports, averaging over 100 million US dollars annually. We're actually descendants of a wealthy tobacco family who lost a lot of money when the Dominican economy began to dive. So Fidel was pretty excited to take me to film a large part of our family heritage. It seemed like everywhere I looked there was either barbed wire or a pile of trash. The Campo is very poor. At least 30% of Dominicans live in poverty, and many are concentrated in rural areas like this. Much of this is allegedly due to the recent shift towards a more tourism and industry-driven economic policy by the government. But despite the poverty, when we were walking around in these areas, we didn't find misery and despair. Instead, we found people. Workers, children, mothers, teenagers, just normal people. Now, don't get me wrong, there's obviously a certain tragedy in a half-clothed child sitting on barbed wire and running shoeless across rocky dirt roads. But he wasn't just a poor child. He was a poor child with a big smile, and that's not insignificant.
¿Cuántos en tu familia?
¿Ah?
¿Cuántos son ustedes?
Cinco.
Cinco. ¿A dónde van? Brum, brum, brum. ¿A dónde van?
Y vayan de paso.
Vayan de paso con
Ve a
cuidado.
paso. Ve a la cámara, ve a la cámara.
This man and his bike provided supplies for the local corner store.
Una botella.
Ay, ay, ay.
Son de los botellones, la goma de los botellones. ¿Quién es el ingeniero?
This little boy reminded me of my tío Alvaro, the engineer who threw the Christmas party. I wonder if this boy even has a chance to find a similar amount of success someday.
¿Y esa lavadora moderna?
Aquí lavando, pero la secadora se me dañó.
Ah, se te sale. Ay, ay.
¿Quieren entrar?
Si no, do we want to go in? Está bien.
Sí, está bien, está bien.
No limpiado todavía.
No, pero enséñale su casa. Está muy bonito. Muy amable.
Aquí pobremente.
Sí, no, pero muy bien dada. ¿Y quiénes viven aquí?
Adiós, aquí vivo yo con 2 nietecitos y 2 hijos.
¿La ayudan?
Me ayudan.
Ok.
Okay.
¿Y qué tiempo tiene viviendo aquí?
4 años.
4 años.
Ah,
¿Y a dónde vivía antes?
allá arriba en la rotonda.
I couldn't help but think that it might be different without my camera,
El campo de Monte.
that these people might smile less, or show us less of that Dominican hospitality that my uncle boasted about.
Quedé con todos los hijos pequeños.
But at the same time, this woman seemed very sincere and happy to let us into her home and show us pictures of her family. And so I was very grateful for that.
La familia.
¿Se parece a usted?
Esas son amistades de ella.
Ah, muy bonito.
Gracias a ustedes.
Bye.
Gracias.
Cuídense.
Gracias. Saludos. Felicidades. Estamos filmando un documental.
Next to a small tobacco field, we found a group of men and children enjoying their day off. My mother led the way to talk to them.
¿Qué curso tú estás?
En quinto.
Quinto. ¿Te gusta la escuela? ¿Qué tú piensas estudiar cuando seas grande?
Yo, pelotero.
Esa es la mejor profesión, pelotero. Qué
¿Vas a
bueno.
ser pelotero?
El pelotero, qué bueno, qué bueno.
¿Por qué equipo?
¿Qué equipo te gusta?
A mí me gustan los Boston.
¿Cuál?
De Boston.
El de
Boston
Boston.
Red Sox.
El de Boston.
In Boston. Seemed like a long way from where we were.
Ay.
It was later explained to me that giving out money isn't treated the same way as in the U.S. In the Dominican, if you have the money to spare, you hand it out when you can, even if it's just for a small task, like a 2-minute interview on camera. But there's also no doubt in my mind that the reason all these kids were gathered up afterwards was because one of them had already received some money. Fidel later asked me if there's anything else I wanted to see, and I explained to him that I wanted to